Hi, I am so excited to announce that Michelle's Inspiration Hour podcast is now finished its third season, and I am so thrilled. Whenever I took this endeavor, I did not realize that I could find all these inspirational guests. And I really want to thank Podmatch for that because I actually started a podcast in 2018 called What is Your Story? But I could never find any guest. And so with Podmatch, it really helped me gain those wonderful guests, and I can bring you so many fantastic episodes because of it. And each guest brings inspiration in different areas of their expertise, like in business, in health, in finances, and in career that all lead to spirituality growth. And that's what I feel is very, very important. So, thank you so much for listening to all the podcasts or some of the podcasts that really inspire you. And please, in the comments, let me know which direction do you want me to go? What themes would really speak your name? What do you want to learn more about? And because I am here for you, and I love all the connections that I make with each guest because I think that is so important because each connection, we're able to change the world. Now, I am going to bring you all of the inspirational statements that these 20 guests in season 3 have shared with us. And I hope that you enjoy each one of them. And again, in the comments, let me know which one really resonated with you. Which one did you want to listen over and over again? That's when you know what's important to you. Because my goal in this podcast is to really give you a nugget of daily inspiration, and so that it fulfills your soul and your spirituality. And it doesn't matter what theme it is, it just what theme really resonates with you. So I just want to thank you also. Not only do I want to thank all of the fantastic guests, but I also want to thank all the listeners who have taken the time out to listen to a podcast or two, because that is one reason why I am here, to make the connections and hopefully to make the world a better place. All right. Enjoy listening to all of the guests.
Part of the reason I wrote the book is because I did leave the classroom. And that was a difficult decision for me. But I thought I had done all that I wanted to do there. And although I'll always be a teacher, I wanted to explore other avenues. And I think it can be challenging for people of any age, but certainly as we get older, to kind of glom on to something we think we are. I joke around and say once a teacher, always a teacher. But when I walked out of the classroom, I was technically no longer a teacher. And I had invested so much of my identity in that role. And I wanted to see what else was out there, what else I could do. And I encourage other people to remember that the opportunities in life are very broad. You don't have to always do the same thing. If you love it, keep doing it. If a little voice is saying, hey, maybe it's time to try something else, then listen.
We can be in rapport with money and values and delivering values, that can touch on some of the deeper spiritual values that we have. Because if money uh, is not connected to our deeper spiritual values, then it becomes a task or takes, like you just said, all sorts of meaning. But what if money was a certificate of appreciation and our spiritual deepest values are to deliver value to others in our workplace, in our community, in our world? Well, then all of a sudden we have rapport with our deepest values and creating businesses and being entrepreneurs or traders, investing, so that we don't have that typical thing where we go so far, then we get shaky, and then we blow it.
Like your gratitude list, everything that you do have, what is working. And then once you lift yourself up and you see these things, then it's important to have somewhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do in order to know where to go, like if you don't know what to do, I sit down and identify what your values are.
Mm-hmm.
Most people do not actually know what their values are. Values are the basis for making decisions. And then once you know your values, your job is to make each area of your life match your values. And if you do that, you will have flow, you will not live in compromise, and everything starts to work.
We have such a fear about death. It's a very much writers write about it as doom and gloom, and that it's negative and depressing, and that is not at all what my experience of death was, or hundreds of thousands of other people that have had near death experiences. There are actually 10 common lessons from NDEs that I talk about in the book. Every single one of them is positive, including the first one, which is we do not die. When we actually die, we all have an energy body. That may be news to some of you. You have an energy body, but we're all energy, are scared of dying alone. And I'm here to tell you, you do not die alone. You have this whole uh, comrade or contingency is what I want to say, of angels and deceased loved ones, and even your pets. They all come in and help escort you over to the other side.
I think one of the challenges is to feel like you belong and that you're worthy. And when you are different from everyone else, you seem to doubt yourself a lot. Like, what am I doing here? Am I as good as the others? Am I worthy being here? Is my opinion, does it matter? Can I be like the men that I work with? Can I achieve success? Can I grow? A lot of doubt. I believe the mindset is one of the most important things. It's not so much about the skills and abilities. Yes, you need to have the skills. Yes, you need to have abilities. Yes, you need to work. But your mindset determines a lot whether you're going to be successful or not. And when someone makes this mindset shift, things start to happen.
My parents came from a toxic lineage, and their parents, I'm sure, came from a toxic lineage. So, Michelle, it was hurt and damaged children raising hurt and damaged children. And once I could see that clearly, I had so much more compassion. And call me Southern California hooey. I'm not in Southern California anymore, but it still sticks to me. I believe I was perfectly placed in the middle of that family system. I truly believe all the players played their role in my movie perfectly. All my challengers and my challenges were opportunities for soul evolution if I chose. I feel, why wait to go to heaven for an earthly review? Let's do the life review now and get rid of the shame and the guilt. And let's really get to the core, which is love.
Casual, I'll do it for my son, something, to being serious about it and wanting to do it in the profession. So when I retired, I already knew that this was what I wanted to do, because at that point there was a number of other experiences that went into the other books that I wanted to write about. And I knew that this was something that it keeps me very intellectually involved and engaged with research and trying to learn and grow and perfect the craft, but also has the rewards of creativity in terms of being able to explore that side of your brain. So I'm even though I'm retired, I get up every morning, I have a piece of toast and half a banana, and I boot up my computer, and that computer doesn't go off until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I like to stay busy, and this is something that not only keeps me busy, but keeps me very intellectually engaged and is creatively rewarding.
My point of view is basically never give up hope. Always uh, don't treat someone who's on the autism spectrum, don't treat them like, oh, I need to do this for this person. I need to treat them differently. It's like if you joke around with in your family, keep joking around with them. It's like they might not understand sense of humor right away, but my dad, he has a big sense of humor that rubbed off on me, and and some people don't like my sense of humor, but it's like, well, you're not going to change me. So, and, and basically, the sense of humor kind of helped me get through all the garbage that I went through with my school district.
I would caution them in terms of what they tell themselves. Everything that happens in our life, we create a story. Viktor Frankl taught us that in Man's Search for Meaning, and him being in Auschwitz. Because he took everything from him, right? They killed his family in front of him. They made him stand naked in the yard with everybody else. It was cold, freezing. They take everything from you, your dignity, all of it. You know what they can't take from you? Is your choice to choose. You choose your attitude. No one else chooses that for you. So choose well. And you know what I tell people all the time? You want to change your life? Change your story. Because most people make excuses. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the experience. I don't have the resources, blah, blah, blah. One of the things I say, don't ever say you don't have time. That's not true. That's a lie. We have time for anything we're committed to.
I look at goals. I see goals as a lighthouse. So picture yourself as in the ocean and you're going towards the lighthouse. You don't know much about the lighthouse. You're just going in that direction. That is your goal. As you get closer to the lighthouse, you're going to start to see details on it you couldn't see from a distance. You're going to see color. You're going to see shades, maybe textures. The closer you get to that lighthouse, the more you're going to realize it doesn't look the way you imagined it was going to look. That is your goal. For me, when I first started boxing, my goal was the Olympics. 2008, I tried out. I lost. 2012, I won the Olympic trials, got suspended and kicked off the Olympic team. 2016, I won the Olympic trials, but lost in international competition and didn't get to go to Rio. And then 2020, I won the Olympic trials, but then the pandemic happened and I didn't get to go. If you look at my career as the Olympics, yes, I failed. But I look at the lighthouse as the Olympics. And on my journey there, I won more boxing matches than any.
It's hard to trust it, right? So if I have a feeling that I should do whatever, and everybody else around you is saying, "Oh, that doesn't make sense, and you shouldn't do this," and you're used to looking to the outside for your decisions, for approval, for whatever, and so you're looking always outside for that. And one of the things we talk about in the circles is trying to look inside for those answers, for that direction, and following that, and trusting that. And it takes a bit of a leap of faith of some kind, for sure, because you're going to trust something that just feels right, even though you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know where it's going to go or all that, but there's an element of trust in there, that if you follow what feels right for you, that this is the way to go, right? So it's not easy, because again, people don't encourage each other to do that, so you really have to develop this, like,
want to stay well, you follow your happiness. You're here to be happy. Your dreams are not something to put on the back shelf because you think it's too good to be true, or you're not worthy, or you're in survival mode. Your dreams are there. That's God talking to you. That's your source talking to you. And it's going to lead you on the most magical journey. Even the ups and downs, like the ups and downs of life, the ebbs and flows, are there for a reason. So that's why I'm so passionate about telling people, create your desired life. What do you really want in life? And you don't have to go full out. You can take baby steps every day to just do something to put you on that path, to follow your bliss, to follow your joy, because that's how your life force flows through you at 100%, and your immune system is at 100%. It's connected to your happiness.
Often we think this is a difficult journey, and we don't necessarily want to do it because we're having to look at our past, and it's scary, and there's things we don't want to look at. But it's a really fun journey, as we go down this path, things become easier. We become lighter, right? It's an enlightenment process, right? We're releasing that burden. Life becomes more fun. Things become easier. Just all sorts of things happen, and we have a deeper perspective on life, right? So I talked about colors, right? I can feel into colors now. I can hear sound. I can feel sound deep inside my body. So a lot of people can only hear sound with their ears. But once you can feel sound in your body, right, it means you're picking up more subtlety from conversations, from music, right? There's a greater depth to life than I ever knew was available to me before.
If you want some instant inspiration, here's the thing: switch off your thoughts and look around you and spend 10 minutes really noticing what's going on. Now, ideally, you do it in nature, so maybe go outside and sit in the park or just walk around. But even if you're in your home or in your office, if you really stop this overactive thinking brain and start seeing what's really going on around you and inside you, you're going to see something quite profound, and that in itself can inspire you for the rest of your life. Just actually observing what this world that we live in actually is, and it's different from what we think it is.
You don't even have to have the same beliefs, right? Because Michelle, you may believe in God, and I might be believing in the universe. But at the same time, if we believe that we can be better as humans and we can work together and we can achieve so many beautiful things, and well, that's what really connects us, right? It's not necessarily who we
Absolutely.
believe in or what we believe in. If it's the core principles that we believe in that align, that's going to take us very far.
Yeah.
And when I shifted my mindset around that, when I realized that what I'm seeing outside of me, it's a reflection of who I am inside,
Mhm.
that also changed my perspective a lot, because I was someone that always wanted people to change. Oh, I want to change my partner. I don't like that about her. I want to change my boss. I don't like that about him. My parents, whatever, you name it. And then I realized, wait a second, if I change myself, everything else around me will change, including the people I interact with, because
True.
there's going to be a reaction to how I change, right? And some
Mhm.
people may leave my life.
Times when I'll sit and it'll put me into tears when I think about this kid growing up in this poor family in Detroit to where I'm at today and getting to have the impact and serving people the way I do. It's not realistic. It's unrealistic that I came from where I was, or that I would be in front of a worldwide convention conference delivering a talk to 300 and some ministers on prosperity. But it's happened. You know, that we are capable of so much more. And one of the things I'll tell you that a quote I really enjoy, Marianne Williamson, and she says, being powerless is not our big fear. Our real fear is how powerful we really are. That's what I want to spread the message and help people realize about themselves. Because at that point, when that happens, that's when the entire world starts making a shift based on the people in it changing.
Inspiration is a lifestyle choice. Inspiration is an inside job, the inspiration. And so we are constantly looking for inspiration outside of ourselves. We go out into the trees, we go out onto the beach, we look for quotes, right? We're always
Right.
looking for it outside of ourselves. But inspiration comes from within. It is in co-creation. If you look at the word inspiration, inward, spirit, with God, source, universe, whatever label you choose to give that. And then the shun is the action part. So you've got to have the intention. You've got to know what it is that you're looking for. So I want inspiration. You can do some breath work, do some yoga, meditate, whatever it is that you want to do to slow down and listen to spirit, and then take action on that thing. And sometimes that thing
favorite quote is life is not a problem to be solved, but an adventure to be lived. And I'm a problem solver naturally, and I like to, find problems and solve them. But my life really changed for the better when I stopped approaching life as a problem to be solved and instead embraced it as an adventure or journey to be lived. Well, and we can try to control that as much as we want, but I think even trying to do that can limit the joy and the growth. Like it's like the comfort, right? It's like often if we wanted to control it and plan the day, it it creates a comfort that where all the growth comes from in the discomfort.
World that we live in, the busyness that we have, is to bring the awareness and bring all fragments of yourself away from your social media, away from the attention of the conversation of with friends, or ruminating on past conversations that might have caused you pain and hurt. Bring all of that back, and I would say bring the awareness into your heart so you can actually be present. Because how many times, I have lost count how many times I did it in the past and still do it every now and then, where my mind is somewhere else and my body is doing something else. So we want to be packaged as whole. So bring the conscious self in its full awareness in this body, then we can see what life is really presenting to us.
When you think of failure, oftentimes we think of it as a negative thing. We internalize it because that's what society has taught us. Failing is bad. If you're a failure, you're a loser. But the word fail, what it stands for is first attempt in learning. That is what fail stands for. When you feel like you've reached the end and you can't go on anymore and there's nothing left, remember that end, the word end stands for effort never dies. And no matter how many times you're told no, remember when you're being told no, it stands for next opportunity. And I'd like for everyone to think about that. When you hear something negative in your life or when you feel you're shot down, pivot, change that mindset. Look at it in a positive way. How can you reframe this in a positive way that will benefit you in your life to make your life better and those around you better?